Hello, today we are going to study about networking devices. So it's a very simple topic. I want you all to understand what are the devices in networking, which layer they belong to. We are going to study these kind of devices in detail. So let's go ahead and study these devices one by one. So the first device we are going to study about is NIC card. NIC card. Some people are aware of NIC card. Some people might be thinking, what is this? This is an old type of card which is being added separately to your motherboard. Nowadays you get an IC port, the RJ45 port, inside your integrated to your mother card. That means which is already there by default in your motherboard. So it is a network interface card, an IC card. It is used to connect to RJ45 port. Nothing much about NIC card. It's used to connect internet. So next one is repeater. What is this repeater? Repeater was introduced first earlier. When repeater, what it does is it receives, it boosts the signal and sends. Yeah, the work of the repeater is it receives, boosts the signal and sends to the destination. So it's a layer 1 device and it has only two ports. It is not an intelligent device. What it does is it's like a cable. It receives and it sends, but here the difference is like it receives, it boosts and it sends. It increases the speed and it sends. And next we're going to talk about hub. Why hub when there is a repeater? Why was hub introduced after repeater? So hub was introduced because a repeater had just two ports. Hub and repeater, there is no difference except ports. Fine. So what a hub does is it receives and sends. Same as repeater, receives and sends, but it has more ports. So it's even this is a layer 1 device, even repeater is a layer 1 device because it is not an intelligent device. It receives and just sends. Next, we're going to talk about bridge. People were really fed up with hub. Why? When you receive from this port, it's port 2, port 3, port 4, everyone receive the signal. If you want to talk from port 1 to port 4, something secret, something confidential from port 1 to port 4, what happens there is like 2 and 3 both receives the confidential information. So people were not happy with it. So the next device was introduced, that was a bridge. Why bridge? Bridge was little advanced device, whereas MAC addresses were introduced. MAC address is something is hardware address. Hardware address. MAC address is a hardware address which is a unique address given to every hardware devices. Fine. So what bridge used to do is it has had an intelligence to send to the particular device for the first time. Just it's a little confusing how the bridge works. For the first time it receives and it broadcasts to everyone, only for the first time. Okay, hub broadcasts every time, whereas bridge broadcasts only for the first time. When it broadcasts to everyone, it takes their name. It's like when you send, when the information is sent, it takes the name. It's like me talking to you for the first time. I ask your name. What's your name? So you tell me your name. For this next time I don't ask your name, I just directly talk to you. Same way bridge. It had intelligence to send to that particular person. That's MAC address, with the help of MAC address, hardware address. First time it broadcasts, and for this it takes the name and it has a table called the MAC table. It saves in that table. It's like I take in the class, I take everyone's name on the first day of the class, and after that I called by that particular name. I don't keep asking your name every time, correct? So Bridge, what it does is, like, the first time it asks name by sending a broadcast. For the second time, if you want from computer A to send it to computer B or D or any computer, fourth or fifth computer, what it does is it receives and it sends to that particular person. Now, next, why was switch introduced when there was an intelligent device called bridge? Why was that introduced? Switch was introduced just because it had less ports compared to switch. They were not happy with the ports. And one more thing, switch was a software based device, whereas the MAC table was stored in a software, whereas in bridge, when it comes to switch, there is something called a chip in it. ASIC chip, application specific integrated circuit. There was a chip inside the bridge. In that chip, that MAC table was stored. It's like me having antivirus in my computer. It's software. Firewall in my computer. It's software. I'm having a firewall device in my company. Before, it's like you entering my company, you have to face that firewall and get inside the company. Okay, people who don't understand what is firewall, do not worry about it. We are going to learn later. Fine, we're going to talk about switch now. It had a chip. It's like a chip, like a storage device. It stores the MAC address in that, which helps the switch work faster compared to other devices. It works faster. So this how the switch was little advanced compared to bridge. It had more ports, and it's even like a bridge. It's a layer 2 device. It had many ports. It has high bandwidth. It works very fast compared to bridge. So as days goes, the technology improves. You tend to see new things every day. So same way when bridge was old and then switch came. Okay, now we understood what is repeater, what is hub, what is bridge, why the development happened. Now we use a switch now, so we are happy with the switch. Now the next device, router, was introduced. So why router when you have a switch? Routers traffic between IP subnets. Okay, you will understand this after understanding what is subnet mask, or what is different types of IP address, different classes of IP address. Okay, very simple. It's like router, it helps to communicate with different IP addresses. Like if I'm using 10.0.0.0 IP address, and to this port, just take I'm using this 2 serial fast Ethernet port. One we'll take from here. So one is connected to 10 dot network, the other one is connected to 20 dot network. Very simple. What router does is it helps you to talk to different IP address, whereas switch does not do that. Switch helps you to talk to same IP address, whereas router helps you to talk to different class or different IP address, like 10.0.0 network and 20.0.0 network or 30.0.0 network. So when somebody asks you why we need a router when we have a switch, it helps to have understanding the MAC address, whereas router helps you to understand different IP addresses. So even there is a layer 3 switch introduced. I'm sorry, I just wrote here layer 2 switch. No, I'm sorry, it's layer 3. It should be layer 3. So layer 3 switch was introduced. When it was introduced, it's very expensive. Layer 3 switch is very expensive. People cannot afford for it. So instead of that, we can afford, instead of buying layer 3 switch, we can buy one switch and a router. Even that's like little less if I compare to layer 3 switch. So obviously router is used in LAN, WAN, so it's a layer 3 device, and I'm sorry, I need to correct it. So here the layer 3 switch is used. So layer 3 switch is used here. So we understood why we need a router, and we are going to go for our next topic is firewall. So people who didn't understand what is firewall, there are two types of firewall. One is software and another one is hardware. So here what you see is hardware. In your computer, by default, Microsoft has given you one option of having a software called firewall. If you download something, if you're not aware of this software, just understand, when you download something, when you my PC is running very slow, it's giving me this message every time. So I have, my configuration of my laptop is not that great, so I'm getting a message because I've opened multiple options. So fine, back to studies. So we have a firewall here. In firewall, as I told you that there are two types of firewall, one is software and another is hardware. Software is something you have it in your PC by default. Software is like when you try and download something, you get a pop-up message. Do you really want to download something? You say no, or you say yes. This is firewall. It takes your permission to get into your computer. Fine. If you don't want it to get in to your computer, just click no. This is software. Fine. So same way, this is the hardware component used in hardware device used in companies. Before a hacker or a foreign particle gets into your company, it stops. It's like a door. I don't want you to get into my company, just stop here. So this is firewall. It's a wall which will not let you get in without the permission of the administrator. It's a layer 4 device, so because it works with the help of TCP and UDP. So I think you have understood about the firewall. So we'll go to next. DHCP server. So few people are aware of this DHCP. Few people might be thinking, what the heck is this DHCP? So DHCP is something. Okay, just imagine you have a company with 500 computers, 600 computers, 1,000 computers. You cannot go to 1,000 or 500 computers and assign IP addresses for that. Correct? So what you hire 10 people, 20 people to assign IP addresses for that company. Some people do mistake, some people get confused while assigning the IP address. So to avoid this, there is a device was introduced called DHCP server. As like firewall, this has also software and hardware. It's a software device and hardware device. There's something you might be thinking, what is the software and hardware in DHCP? First, let's understand what is DHCP. DHCP is Dynamic Host Control Protocol. Dynamic Host Control Protocol. What exactly does? It automatically assigns IP address. It's like me going to manually assigning IP address to each computer, like 600,000 computers in the company. I might do some mistake. To stop this, I have a machine which helps me to put the IP address to all the routers, all the computers. This machine will help me to put the IP address to all the 600 and 1,000 computers automatically. Okay, so I'm talking about software and hardware. So I think I explained about this hardware, you understood. Just you have to connect to switch this device to the switch. In the later I will show you where we need to connect this device. Just understand what exactly this device does. You just need to connect this device to the switch, and the switch, what it does is from this device, it just shoots the IP address to different computers. Okay, so it in a fraction of a few minutes, all the 600 and 1,000 computers will receive IP address without any mistake. So software, I was talking about DHCP software. So what is this? There is also one software of DHCP. We need to install it in one of the computer in LAN. It will work as DHCP server. I'll explain you about this later. So we'll go to next topic. I think you might have seen this. I just wanted you to see this device. I think you might use this in your house to use wirelessly. This device works like router, wireless point, firewall, DHCP server, switch. So you might be thinking, a small device which I use in the house, it does so many things? Yes. You have to go to router status page in your router, go and try this in your house, try and plan, like check the router status page. You'll have parental control, you have option to block someone not using your network with the help of MAC address. You have different option. Just for your knowledge, I wanted to show you this one which you use in the house. So next, do you have any question for me? If yes, you can send a comment for this video. So next, my turn to ask you a question. So just answer for this. If you answer, that means you understood whatever I taught you. So what OSI layer 3 device connects different IP address? Very easy. What device automatically assigns IP address? Even that's quite easy. What OSPI layer 1 device transmit a network signal? Which layer device just transmits the network signal? So it can be two devices according to me. So think about it. If you get the answer, it's good. If no, just here we go. Here is the answer. The first one is the router. Obviously router helps you to talk to two different IP addresses, then automatically assigns IP addresses DHCP. And which layer 1 device just transmits the signal? It's a repeater. Fine. Did you answer it? Yes, no, maybe. Fine, it's okay. So let me explain how these all devices we can put together. How can we put together? See here, I'm connected to internet. Internet, we draw a cloud here. To internet we put the firewall, we put the gate for security. It's like before you enter the house, there is a security person standing here. He asks, you know, whom do you want to meet? Are you a thief or something like that? This person is very strict. He will not let you get into the company very easily. Fine. After this firewall, here we go. Here we have a router which will help me to connect to different IP address. You might be thinking, in my company I'm using one IP address like 10.network, 10.0.0.0 network, and why should I connect it to the router? I can directly connect a switch to the router. Now think about the internet point. In internet there might be different IP addresses which you're using. So to talk to different IP address, I need a router. Fine. So for the router I'm using switch. Yeah, I think to this small topology the switch is too much. Fine, then I'm using this wireless device to use the laptop. See here, for switch, I told you that where is DHCP connected is to switch. See here, this 3 computers, even in this laptop, here the DHCP server is connected to the switch. So DHCP shoots, it assigns IP address automatically to the computers in a workplace. Okay, it automatically assigns IP address. No need to go to this computer and put 192.168.2.1, 2.3, 2.4 to all the computers. This assigns the IP address to the computer automatically. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Hope you understood that. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.